Well, the inevitable has happened. Representative Talarico, you have announced your bid for the U.S. Senate. You released a video earlier this morning, a 3-minute video. At the very end of your campaign launch video, you have this slogan here. It says, "It's time to start flipping tables." Can you explain to us, what do you mean by that?
Well, I decided to run for this U.S. Senate seat because I firmly believe that all 30 million Texans deserve a U.S. Senator who's going to fight for their interests, not the interests of billionaire mega donors. And Ken Paxton, John Cornyn, they have repeatedly demonstrated that they're not fighting for us. They're fighting for the people who fund their campaigns. And I think it's time for a different kind of elected official who's actually going to fight for working people in the state of Texas. And so, in my faith, we follow a barefoot rabbi who, when the powerful were rigging the system, decided to walk into the seat of power and flip over the tables of injustice. And so, my faith is central in my life. It's the reason I'm in public service. And so, I wanted to use that story to communicate what this campaign is going to be all about. And the goal is to start flipping tables so that we can have a government that actually works for regular people again.
Yeah, your big message in that video was talking against the mega donors, these billionaire mega donors, and what you called their kind of puppet politicians. They're pulling the strings here. I'm sure it's a question you're going to be getting a lot, but there was that report that last year your biggest donor was from the Texas Sands PAC, which of course is backed by a billionaire in herself, Miriam Adelson. She donated $59,000 to your House reelection campaign. Talk to me about that. You talk about the mega donors, and yet you still did receive donations from a billionaire.
Yeah, I'm the only member of the Texas legislature that doesn't take a dime of corporate PAC money. Never have, and I'm not going to in this U.S. Senate race. This is going to be a people-powered effort. That's exactly how I've run all of my campaigns, and it's going to be how I run this Senate race. We're going to be taking donations from regular people all over the state, all over the country who want to give $5, $10, $15. That's where the power of this campaign is going to come from. And I've committed already not to take corporate PAC money in this upcoming race, just like I haven't in my career in the Texas House.
You're a 4-term representative. You worked a lot on education policy in your time in the State House. I want to kind of go back to this most previous regular session we've had. You were you railed against the education savings accounts. That was something that Governor Greg Abbott supported fully, wanted to get that passed. You also railed against the 10 Commandments being displayed in classrooms bill. I'm curious to know, those are very state-level issues. If you were to be elected to the U.S. Senate, what kind of issues would you be tackling at the national level?
Well, I think public education is under attack at the federal level as well. The defunding of the Department of Education, they're now pushing a national private school voucher scam that would affect not only Texans, but every American. And so this fight is becoming national. And I'm going to take what I've been doing at the state capitol, working for working people in this state, fighting against those billionaires who are trying to defund our school. I'm going to take that fight from the state capitol to our nation's capital if I'm fortunate enough to be elected to this position.
Democrats in Texas have a really uphill battle when it comes to a statewide position. A Democrat hasn't won a position like that in the past 30 years. A new poll came out from the Texas Politics Project. I want to just talk a little bit about the numbers that came out. This was a polling done in August, and they were looking at the favorability ratings of possible Senate candidates. You were listed in this poll, and your numbers came out to be 16% favorable, 12% unfavorable, but the biggest number there, 71% of voters didn't know who you were or just didn't have an opinion on you. So as a Democrat, in an uphill battle like Texas, also someone who's doesn't have as much name recognition as your counterpart here, Colin Allred, who you'll be running against, what's your strategy to get your name out there, and what kind of issues will you be trying, or what message, I should say, would you be getting out there to the voters that would want them to elect you over a Republican?
Yeah, I'm the outsider in this race. I'm running against a lot of people who have been in politics for a while, and I'm certainly the underdog in this primary and in the general. But I've been the underdog before. I first won a seat in the state legislature by flipping a district that no one thought was winnable. People counted me out then, and I proved them wrong by bringing lots of people together, Democrats, independents, and Republicans. I ran an authentic, aggressive, unorthodox campaign. And that's exactly what I'm going to do in this race. I'm going to go everywhere. I'm going to talk to everyone. You're going to see me in places where you don't typically see a Democrat. You're going to see me talking to people that Democrats don't typically talk to. That's what's going to be necessary if we're going to win this seat in November of next year. So I hope to surprise people in this upcoming race, and I hope this campaign surprises people as we move forward.
Representative Talarico, is there anything else you'd like to add that you'd like our viewers to know about?
Well, before I was ever a politician, I was a public school teacher. I taught middle school on the west side of San Antonio. And I would say if you're looking for a leader who knows how to be tough and disciplined while also being compassionate, then you should elect a middle school teacher.
Okay. Representative James Talarico, Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate, thank you so much for joining us.